Hey, what's up, beautiful Bell listeners? I am Gio.
And I'm Bart.
And I'm so happy to be back and be in your ear holes or on your screen and you're looking at my essence. How do I look? I look pretty trash right now, actually.
Do you? You look like you're about to go to a snow resort. Why do you dress like that?
So I thought I was,
Is that a vest underneath there?
Yeah. Because I was wearing a lot of black. I felt like I had too much black.
And is that a sweater underneath the vest?
It's not a sweater. It's our
long
shirt.
Sleeve? Holy
it's our long sleeve.
crap. That's a lot.
I'm a cold bitch.
I know.
No, I really thought that we were going to go. Oh, okay. This is what I was going to say. I forgot we were podcasting today. So I got ready to go to the gym. Yes, this is how I go to the gym, minus the jacket and the vest. It was just going to be the shirt.
I see.
Yeah, today's bench day, so I wasn't going to be that hot. But yeah. Our gym is really cold because we have a warehouse gym. If you're unfamiliar with it, don't worry about it. I'm going to catch you up. Back in 2013, Bart and I opened up our very own gym. It's more of a powerlifting gym. It's located in Los Angeles. So if you're ever in the Chinatown area, check us out. But yeah, that's why I'm kind of like this.
I was actually thinking about our gym the other day, and I'm like, that shit's crazy. Have you ever thought about it?
All that fucking, I think about my life and I go, this shit is crazy.
No, because I was driving and I was like, I own a gym.
Yeah. You know what else trips me out? Crazy?
No, but I want to hold on to that thought, okay? And you tell me yours after. But I was like,
I don't want to take turns. I want to interrupt you.
Okay, go ahead and interrupt me.
No, I'm kidding. Go.
Okay, good. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not a personal trainer. I didn't get a bachelor's in kinesiology.
You're not even a fitness guru.
I'm not a fitness guru. And I never set out to be a gym owner. I'm not a professional bodybuilder or powerlifter or anything like that. And it was literally, we were doing JK, all comedy stuff. So it would actually make more sense if I owned a comedy club or improv
like a theater
school,
or something.
Theater, something like that, right? Yeah. Or even a center for kids to come in and learn comedy.
Even a fucking costume store makes more sense than this
shit. And then I did a powerlifting meet. And then I was so inspired that I realized the training that I was doing at a commercial gym was the wrong way to train. So I was like, you know what? I need to find a powerlifting gym. My crazy wife or girlfriend at the time was like, let's go check out some gyms. So we went to some gyms. Didn't really see
I am pretty cool.
Yeah, didn't see anything we liked. And then it was crazy that two people that have no gym experience.
We have no fucking business in this business.
Have never even been employees in a gym. We're like, let's open one.
Let's start our own.
Isn't that crazy? I was like, yeah, even till this day, I'm like, man, that's freaking crazy.
You know, I really do try to downplay. I mean, I'm obviously humble. Like, I love that I'm humble. I was raised to be humble.
You don't sound humble.
I am humble. I'm very,
sure?
You know I'm humble. I will never rub shit in anyone's.
You know I'm humble.
Motherfucker, you know I'm humble.
That's the quote of the year.
Yeah, motherfucker, you know I'm humble.
That's something Donald Trump would say.
But I mean, that's
I'm humble.
You know, that's how we were both raised. You know, like I was never praised by my parents, and I was never taught to praise your own accomplishment. I was never taught to flaunt anything. If anything, I was always shown all my shortcomings and all like my bad stuff. And it's like, this is why you need to stay down here. And I'm like, yeah, true that. I got to keep learning. Fuck, you made me lose my train of thought. Oh, right. But when like people are like, you know, they look at, you know, our life and the things that we've accomplished and they're like, how did this happen? And, you know, I'll downplay it. And I'm like, two fucking idiots that just got into some shit that they didn't know. You know, but really, I mean, yes, you're right. We didn't know anything. We didn't have any experience in even working at a gym. Like we would just go to gyms and we didn't even go to all the different styles of gym to kind of see what's out there. You know what I mean? To do more market research. It was more like we only knew Bally's. Remember Bally's? We knew 24 Hour. We knew maybe LA Fitness and a couple like sprinkles of gyms. Because when we started, there weren't that many gyms. You know, there weren't that many like non-commercial gyms.
Yeah, like the mom and pop gyms or even the CrossFit gyms or even like the specialty gyms. They were, there might be like one in the entire state. It felt like, yeah.
So, fuck, what was I saying?
You better get yourself on track.
I know, I got excited.
You lost yourself twice.
Right. No.
You better turn on your conversation GPS.
I found it. I just have so much to say. I'm sorry. That, yeah, I'll downplay and I'm like, these two idiots, right? And yes, rightfully so, we were two idiots. But we still did a lot of research, you know, like we didn't come into this thing with a completely blank slate. Like at this point we had JK for how many years already?
I don't even know if we did that much research, to be honest.
Well, I mean, we knew what it took to keep something afloat.
Because the only thing I did really was like, I remember going, what's the closest thing? Because, you know, when you're thinking about opening businesses, I think like the newbie thing to think about is who's your competitor? That's the first thing to think about, right?
Yeah, we didn't even look at that.
So I did. So that's the only thing I went.
Barely.
Yeah, exactly. So I went on the
Barely.
CrossFit website and I'm like, well, CrossFit, I think they do warehouses. So it must be
And
the
it wasn't
closest
even
thing.
us.
So I put our zip code in there and it just showed like this, like there's an empty vacuum or exactly where we're at. And I'm like, bingo. And I think that's all I needed.
Right. But I think what I'm talking about is just the tenacity and the skill set to not focus on the gym aspect of it, but just on building something.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, and I've always credit YouTube for this, and I will continue till the day that I die. YouTube really gave me a lot of tools of doing a lot with nothing or close to nothing.
The culture that YouTube forces you to be in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's like YouTube back in the day was unknown. No one was making money the way that they're making it now. Like people are making like 8 figures now.
Fucking 9-year-olds
Yeah.
making 30 million.
Exactly.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. He probably made it when he was 4, but it's all right. So we were just forced to get really creative. So I think we took a lot of that, and the fact that we're down to just fucking grind it out. We're down to not get paid for years. We're down to, you know, work 2 separate companies. Like we would wake up hella early to open the gym, and then, or even before the gym even opened, we would shoot all fucking day. You know, we would shoot maybe 6 in the morning and maybe 8, 9, 10 at night, sometimes even 12. And then we would still meet every single day and night, weekend. And we're like, all right, well, what do we kind of want to look for? You know, what do we want it to feel like? I think, yes, you're right. Like it's unbelievable what we were able to do with the fucking ant-sized knowledge that we had within the fitness space. But I think we were just really well equipped.
Because of the YouTube training?
Because of the YouTube training. I think it was just the perfect storm for us, right? Because it was the YouTube training. We were also really young. At that point, we were still pretty broke. Like, I mean, we were able to pay rent and have a couple of things, but like we were still fairly broke. So for us, it was like, well, what do we really have to lose? You know, like we had the support of your mom who allowed us to like live in a space that she would rent out. She let us use her garage to live there rent free. Like that helps so much. She even gave us $200 a month. Remember?
She did?
Yes.
200?
She would give us like allowance.
No, I don't remember her giving me any money.
She would.
Maybe she gave
would.
it to you and it was a secret and you're not supposed to tell me, but I don't remember
What are you
getting
talking
any
about?
money from her.
Yeah, she would give us money. But did I just make that up?
I think you're making it up. I don't
Are you
remember.
sure?
Yeah, I don't remember getting any money from her. If anything, she's been telling me that I need to give her money. And I'm like, I don't gonna make no money.
Are you
I don't have
sure?
no money to give you.
I don't know. For some reason, I remember her
We
giving
pay her
us,
now.
No, I remember her giving us some sort of allowance.
No, maybe like for Chinese New Year's once a year, but definitely not on a monthly basis.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep that in my brain that she gave us money.
No, go back in her bank
So
accounts
that-
and see if we got $200 from her.
Watch me be right.
No, impossible.
So that I can always feel like I'm forever indebted to her and I have to give her the world. So yeah, it was a perfect storm because we were broke. We didn't have much to lose. And I remember like, you know, we were going to use the clothing to supplement the opening of the gym. And I remember investing maybe like $200 and going like, that's my fucking life savings right there. And then going, yeah, I mean, I remember even saying this line to you. I'm going, well, if we fail, I mean, I just used $200. So why not? Yeah. So that's what I mean. The perfect storm of us being really young, being pretty broke, having the YouTube background and us just going, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is pretty crazy though.
And this is what I was going to say that trips me out is when I'm driving for my home, right? And I have to GPS getting to the gym because I don't use it for the sake of the GPS. I use it so that I know what time I'll get there. If someone's waiting for me or I need to plan out my day, I'm like, oh, it's going to take me, you know, with traffic and whatever, it's going to take me 40, 50 minutes. I'll use it for that. But it trips me out when I'm looking it up in my GPS and it says Barbell Brigade Gym. Like anyone can access that. And it flips me the fuck out. Till this day, anytime I'm like trying to like map it, I write barbell and it says Brigade Gym. It like
Yeah,
fills it up.
sometimes I still don't think it's a real place.
What do you mean?
Like, you know how like when you build things, right, it takes a lot of things to make a thing a thing. You know what I'm talking about?
How many times did he say thing in that sentence?
Like, let's say you want to be a barber, right? Is cutting a person's hair in your garage, are you now a barber?
I think you're a barber once you start getting money.
Exactly. So if you cut someone's hair in your garage one time, they pay you. Are you a barber? Or are you a barber when you get the cosmetology, whatever license from the state? Is that when you're a barber? Let's say you have that license in your garage cutting hair. Are you a barber, or are you a barber until you own a barber shop? Or is it? Or
I think I would consider myself a barber as soon as I have more than one client. That's like outside of my friends and family. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm a legit barber.
When you have 2 clients, you're a barber now.
If I have people that are outside of my personal circle, yeah. Like if it's a stranger now that likes my work, I'm like, oh shit, I'm a professional now.
Oh, I see.
That's how I would see it.
Yeah, because then the reason why I feel like the gym, like I still don't even know if it's a real thing. It's like, even though it happened over
7 years ago,
8 years now total, right? It still feels like it happened so fast. Like, yeah, I've been to City Hall many times, to the Monterey Park one, to the LA one. I've been there many times to get codes approved, permits approved, get things passed, get the right zoning. I've done that so many times. But then I have this piece of paper, and then I have like this software that we have to log memberships in, right? And then we do pay the electrical bill. And then we do have a ton of people that train in there. But it doesn't feel like a thing because there's not this one thing that connects it all together. You have to connect it together. You get what I'm saying?
Nope.
Like kind of like when you buy a car, right? The car's there. You have the keys. The car's on your driveway. There's automatic deduction from your bank account if you have it set up like that. Then there's also insurance and there's warranty. And it feels like someone else did all the work and you paid and you have this whole experience. But when with this gym, I felt like I just did a lot of one-off things that ended up being a thing for people. Like when I'm inside the gym, I'm like, dude, a lot of people like training here. This is a cool place. I don't even see it as a business. It's almost like a park with a roof on it. I'm like, people really like coming to this Barbell Brigade park. It's pretty cool. And then when it's like, when it comes to like troubleshoot money matters, like finances and like where the business needs to go, I'm like, oh man, this, like, and I'm just looking at straight paper because I'm not looking at the paper at the gym. You know, I'm looking at the paper like over here in this office. So when we're brainstorming money and financial issues, I'm almost looking at like a very removed account, you know? And then when I see people post about it, I'm like, oh man, people, they love going to that park because they're tagging me all the time. And it just feels like a lot of like things being held up by like popsicle sticks, but they're not necessarily all tied together. So it's half the times I go in, like I still feel like, that's cool, I get to come here. I wonder if the owner's going to kick me out one day. Do you feel like that?
Nope, not at all.
What do you feel? You feel like, I fucking own this shit, this is mine, I made it.
No, not like that. But it's definitely one like, holy shit, I can't believe we did this.
Oh.
It's one of those things. And I'm like, man, this is tight. So many people like it here. Like I feel like it's my home and people are like playing in my house and I have like my appointed hosts and they're doing a great job. And I'm like, cool. Like I was just able to provide jobs for, 10, 15, 20 people. And I'm able to provide a safe space for people to feel welcome and at home. And it makes me feel like I could start crying thinking about that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking about it right now. I want to cry, but I'm just like, what the fuck? Who let me do this? Like who allowed me to open a gym?
The state of California did.
Yeah. Like I shouldn't have a kid.
Why?
I can barely take care of myself. Like I'm still a fucking kid. Like who's allowing me to do these things? Come on.
The country is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I always feel like it's mine.
That's pretty cool.
You're like, I can't relate.
I can't because half the times I don't even feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like I...
Do you want to start scrubbing the toilets and checking people in so that you can really feel like it's yours?
I probably still won't. I'll probably be like, why the fuck people got me scrubbing this park toilet for?
Parked toilet?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Park toilet, like Barbell Brigade Park.
Oh, park.
Yeah, like
toilet.
why am I scrubbing this? Why am I scrubbing the toilet of Grand Canyon? You know, like that's how it feels like.
What do you think that comes from?
I don't know. Maybe because I saw all the bits and pieces come together. And so for me, like all the bits and pieces could fall apart at any time. I don't know.
Yeah, but I still don't feel why you would, I still don't understand why you would feel a detachment like that. Because you've like we had to go to the city multiple times. We were fighting with the city. We were like, we got kicked out of or we were about to get kicked out of our first location because of like the whole noise thing. But luckily we had reached capacity where we're like, fuck it, kick us out. Like we don't fit here anyway. Like there were just so many trials and tribulations and just so much shit that we went through that like I don't understand how you don't feel like it's yours.
I don't know. Something about all the pieces, like a business is a bunch of pieces. And somehow like all the pieces don't make a thing yet. Or I know it's a thing, but it doesn't like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, it almost feels like this, right? Like I go, hey, mister, I really like your building. Can I put some stuff in it? And then the guy's like, sure. But in order to put some stuff in my building, you got to sign a 5-year lease. And I'm like, that sounds doable. Shake hands. And then I tell like my other buddies, hey guys, that guy said we could put all of our stuff in there. So that the day came where we moved all the gym equipment and we put it in there. And then once we put it in there, we're like, cool, we got a place full of stuff. And we're like, hell yeah. And they're like, do you think other people want to use our stuff? And people are like, who knows? Let's check it out. So I go on like YouTube or Instagram. Hey guys, I got a room full of stuff. You guys want to come use it? People are like, yeah. And then the doors open, grand opening, a line of people decide to come and they're like, oh man, I freaking love this place. I'm like, this place is cool, huh? Half of them don't even know that I own it. And they just come in and they're working out. I'm like, man, this place full of stuff is now full of people. I love this place full of stuff and people. And it just kind of just stayed a place full of stuff and people. And it just feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like I own it. It just feels like it's a thing that just happened. And I just so happen to nudge certain pieces of it.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I get you now. And I'm going to try to explain it back to you. But before I do, I want to introduce our first sponsor. Alrighty, so I want to introduce our sponsor, Skillshare. You guys have heard us talk about Skillshare time and time and time again. And if you haven't jumped on the offer, well, here, this is your sign. I'm talking to you right now. You've been on the fence and you're like, I want something different out of my life. I know I need to find passions. I just don't know where to start. I'm doing it for you, motherfucker. This is where you start right here, right now. I'm talking to you. Right now, Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning, okay? So you can explore thousands and thousands of different creative courses from creative writing to interior design to graphic design to just different...
photography.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many things that you can, so many classes that you can take so that you can just sharpen your skills and finally find that passion that you know that you have in you and you're like, where is it? I can't find it. Go to Skillshare, try a bunch of different classes, see what sticks, see what you like. I'm currently, because as you guys know, we're moving to Vegas, I'm currently taking an interior design class. And what I really, really like is that you can, because there's multiple courses underneath just the criteria of interior design. So you can pick per room or you can pick per style of a house. And you just learn so much. You learn about natural lighting. You learn about like space dimension. You learn about like optical illusions. Like, did you know that to make a small room look bigger or feel bigger, you add you add mirrors in there? Like these are things that we don't think about, that when you go to a small like salon, for example, you're like, man, this place is little, but it doesn't feel little. It's because they probably have mirrors. So these are the types of things I'm talking about, that you're just going to get to learn so much. And because you're smart enough to listen to this podcast, you're going to get hooked up. Okay. So right now, explore your creativity, find that passion of yours, go to Skillshare.com/Beaw, BEAW, and get a free trial of premium membership. That's Skillshare.com/Beaw. And sorry, I was so harsh, but I think it's time for you to like get on it. Come on. And we're back. Okay. So I think I get it. So I think because for you, there wasn't real, you didn't have too much involvement when it came to designing the space, really. Like, yes, we designed the inside, the layout or whatever, but it's exactly how you described it. That's exactly how you see it. You're renting someone else's shit. You know, so it's not your building, it's not your space.
Yeah,
and
the building's not mine, no.
Yeah, so I think if we were to open one up, if we were to buy a plot of land and then you built it, you know, like you worked with an architect and we developed blueprints and you wanted this space to be the size that you wanted it to be. You wanted it to face in a specific direction because of X, Y, Z. You wanted the exterior to be this color, and like you had full control of the whole thing. I think that at that point you'd feel like it's yours.
Maybe because like, you know, our house, it's not designed by us, but I feel like it's my house.
Well, because that's literally where you eat, sleep, shit, fuck, have your undies.
You do fuck, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a minute, but
damn.
I mean, we're tired.
I know.
But you have literally your whole life is in there.
Yeah.
Like now imagine if a room at Barbell was that, I think you'd feel like it's your space. Because that's your life now. Like that's where
maybe
you
it's just a matter of not spending enough time there, maybe.
That and just that space, not we don't own it. Like if he were to be like, I want you guys out tomorrow, we're fucked. I mean, not really fucked because we can find another place, but like they ultimately have the power unless we buy it from them.
I could see that.
But then I don't even think you'd want that space. You're like, fuck, if I'm gonna have to buy it, I'd rather get something I want.
No, I could totally see that actually. I could see myself, maybe that's what makes me feel something is mine. Like I could see myself buying a building and then I don't even have a business in it. I rent that business to someone else. And when me and my friends drive by, I probably like,
I own that.
I own that donut shop. You know that? You know?
Yeah, because it's yours.
Like kind of like how my dad thinks he owns my house and he wants to go inside anytime.
Does he? I didn't know that.
No, but that's how he views it. Like everything that's mine, it's his.
That's cute.
So I feel like that's how, you know, if the donut shop became like a nail salon. Hey guys, you want to see my nail salon? Like I feel like that would constantly be mine now. That's funny
because you don't own that.
I don't
You just
own
the fucking space, but now it's your nail salon. That's funny. Your brain is so interesting.
And it's the opposite. Yeah, and it's weird because in this current situation, I actually own the gym. I don't own the building. But because I don't own the building, I don't even feel like I own the gym.
You know what I like that you said, I think last week? I don't remember the conversation. Like I don't remember what we were saying, but I do remember what you said that I was like, oh shit, that's pretty tight. I think we were talking about money and I think we were probably talking about like for me, I like to be a little bit more, I don't want to say frugal because I'm not a frugal person.
At all.
At all.
No, at all. Don't even lie to yourself.
But I think I was being a little bit more scarce with money. So I think I presented something to you in a scarcity like mindset type of way.
Yeah.
And for you, you were like, what the fuck? I don't let what I have now affect what I see myself being in the future. Because I think for you in the future, or for you, you operate as if you're already a billionaire. And not to say that like you're splurging on things, but I think the way you make decisions and calls and how you navigate life, you're already thinking about it from just a different perspective. As like if you have a lot more money, like depending on how much money you have, that gives you a sense of security for the most part, right? So if you have like an infinite amount of money, like you don't give a fuck about anything because you know you can buy your way out of it or buy your way into it or buy somebody or something to make whatever you want happen. A lot of us poor fucking, civilians, we don't really think that way. We just see what we have in our account and what we have in our possession. And we're like, well, we can only operate within this space, within this bubble, because this is all we can afford or this is all we have access to. But for you, you might have the same capital or money or whatever possessions that I have, but you're like, this is only temporary. Like, this isn't my end all be all. This isn't my final form. Like my final form is fucking this whole thing. And you operate knowing that this is already yours. And I really love that. Like when you said that, I was like, fuck, why am I limiting myself so much?
Maybe I'm just irresponsible.
But you're not.
I see.
You're not irresponsible at all. Like I feel like I don't make the same calls that you make sometimes because I'm scared. Because I'm going like, fuck, I know what we have and I know where we're at now. And I'm like, ooh, let me play it safe. Because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But for you, you're like, I know what I have now. I know what it takes to get what I want. And I'm going to operate like as if I already have it. And I think that's dope. I think that's something that, was it Kobe? I think that's something that, because you know how we just celebrated his anniversary of his passing?
Yeah.
So they were interviewing a lot of what's his basketball team's name? Mamba?
Lakers?
No. Like what he started, Mamba?
Oh, like his group? I don't know. Maybe Mambas, Black Mambas. I don't know.
I think something like that. So they were interviewing some of the girls that were on the team.
Yeah.
And she remembers meeting him, and that's like one of her idols. And she remembered asking him, like, how is it that you were able to achieve so much? Like, how is it that you were able to be this great? And for him, he's like, well, because I envisioned that I was great the whole time. Like, I never believed I wasn't.
Damn.
I wasn't it. So he's like, I always thought that that's who I am.
Damn.
So because he thought that that's who he is, that's who he became, and I think that's what you're doing. And I'm like, so when you told me that, I was like, what the fuck? Why am I limiting myself so much?
That's
Because
deep.
it's like, if I can think of myself, if I can envision myself already being, let's say, a billionaire, not that I want that, but if I can already envision myself being there, feeling what it feels like to be a billionaire, making the decisions, making the calls of someone that has $1 billion and isn't fucking scared, like, imagine the life I would be living.
I don't think like me and Kobe have the same mindset, because
Obviously, I mean, he's way, way more successful.
he is.
Or was. R.I.P. Miss you.
But he also has his belief comes before his actions, right? So I think people that are great, that's something that is very unique to them, where people, they already like see who they are and they know what they have is temporary. So their belief comes before the timeline. It's like his mind is in 2020 when his brain is in 1980, you know, like and he's moving like this constantly. So when he gets to 2020, his brain is already in, I don't know, 2050 or whatever. For me, what I believe in, and at least the way that I operate is, and it's funny because fitness taught me about fitness. So the real term fitness, do you know what it means?
Mm-mm.
The real term fitness, like if you look in the dictionary,
I'm gonna look it up.
It actually means like one's ability, and not even one. It could be the ability to do certain actions. That's what fitness actually means. It's just that that term ended up being used for
gyms and exercises,
like working out and exercising. But there's actually like
weightlifting,
like what's your fitness on being a teller? What's your fitness on being an engineer? What's your fitness on painting this building or building buildings? It's like the ability to do it, right? So if someone has high fitness in the contracting world, they might be able to build.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, they might be able to build 10 homes in 6 months. Go ahead.
It says the quality of being suitable to fulfill a particular role or task.
Yes. So
that's wild.
So that's what fitness really means, and it applies to everything. Your fitness for being a doctor, your fitness for being a military person, your fitness for being a cop, not the physical fitness.
You're such a fucking fitness guru that you even know what the real term for fitness is.
Yes, and
the definition.
And this is why I think what helped me be successful and think the way that you do. I think the biggest switch for most people that needs to happen, for people that feel like they can't achieve more than what they have, is people, they usually see things as the benchmark. So all they want to do is be the benchmark, right? So like, let's say they go, and I'll use fitness as an example, where they're like, oh, all I ever wanted to do was like
lose 10 pounds.
Lose 10 pounds. Or let's do another example. All I ever want to do is bench like 225, right? That's all I want to do. So all they're ever going to do is always try to win the lottery and go to the gym and just try to hit it once. See if I can hit it. Here, hit it here, hit it there, hit it wherever, right? The fitness of benching 225 is someone that can constantly produce that all the time. So that's when like when I see people like talk about fitness in the gym, and I can already see like worlds apart, is when someone goes, I could do 50 burpees, or I could do a muscle up, or I can do whatever. That's the person that's looking at results as a benchmark, versus there's a person that is doing 50 burpees every single day. Their ability to do burpees like it's nothing, that's where their fitness is at. And so if your fitness is high, that means your machine productivity, your capability is high. So now you're this 1,000 horsepower machine that's like, anytime I can go from here to here in 3 seconds, anytime I can go from here to here 500 miles, my gas tank is huge, right? And then the other person that's like, oh, I just want to be able to do one muscle up, and I'll just try it. For them, they're like, I hope I can make it to Colorado in one drive. I hope I can get from here to there. So because of that, and I think understanding the physical exercise part of fitness, I started to adapt that to my way of life, way of thinking. Like, do I want to be a person that writes, or do I want to be a person that has the ability to write 5 scripts a week? And I apply that to do I want to be a person that's a good dad, or someone that has the ability to be a good dad 24 hours a day? So now it's not like this one thing, like nothing is a check mark anymore.
Yeah.
Because everything I want to create, I want to be a machine of that. I want to be a machine that produces that constantly. This is everything that I'm thinking about. Isn't that one thing that's one and done, like a bucket list? It's an assembly line that's going to produce that constantly.
And you know what that basically boils down to, what you're just explaining?
What?
Motivation versus discipline.
A little bit.
Really? Because it's like for the person that wants to do the 225, he has to feel motivated to do that. Right? And motivation's fleeting. You're not motivated all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You know? So that's where the luck still comes in. Because it's like if you're motivated, you might go to the gym. If you're motivated, you're like, I'm going to strive to get that, but you're not really working for it unless your motivation is there.
Yeah.
You know, but for someone to be able to hit it at any point, at any time, and have the ability to do so, that takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah, I guess that's another way of looking at it. But I think the way that I really look at it is I think most people want the fruit, but I want to be the tree. I think most people go, ooh, oranges. I'll take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For me, I'm like, I want to be the orange tree. So because I'm the orange tree, and I think that's why I'm able to make the moves, because when like, you know, when people are like, oh, fuck, I had 5 oranges, I'm down to 1. For me, I'm like, wait till spring, motherfucker. When spring comes, I'm full of this shit. You know what I mean? And you take it all away, and guess what? I'm full of it again next year.
You are full of it.
I am. So I think that's the way I view it, where like people are always viewing it as like these countable things. But once you become the machine and your fitness in whatever endeavor you're approaching is high,
yeah,
you are a machine that mass produces it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I love that so much. Let me pause you real quick, and I want to introduce our next sponsor.
Alrighty, so let's talk about VPNs. Today's sponsor is brought to you by IPVanish. IPVanish is a virtual private network, aka, like I said, VPN. And a VPN is a super important tool that helps you safely browse the internet. So you can put a VPN on your computer, tablets, phones, even things like your Fire Stick when you're streaming media. So when you use a VPN, all your data is encrypted. So what you're reading, what you're searching, and what you're watching, whatever it is that you're doing, it is all safely protected and private. IPVanish is just $3.49 a month. Yes, $3.49 a month or $27.99 a year, y'all. You can help protect your online privacy and security for as little as $3.49 a month or $27.99. Yes, why wouldn't you? Come on now. So go to ipvanish.com/Beaw, BEAW, and claim your 65% saving. They have plans starting at just $3.49 a month and $27.99 a year. This is the time to sign up with our discount and their current promotional offers. You can get a VPN for 65% off their usual offering. So IPVanish is the best of the best. It's even been rated 4.7 out of 5 on Trustpilot, and that's with more than 6,000 reviews. So go ahead, show these guys some love. Remember, it's ipvanish.com/Beaw to get their deal and start protecting yourself online.
And we're back. I absolutely love that.
But the tough part about that's the part where it requires discipline, because to be a tree, you have to, like, I think most people, it goes like them and then the benchmark. Right. And then what's lacking is this machine part of it.
The discipline
and
part.
Because they don't have a machine, they're constantly just testing if they can do it. For me, it's me, the machine, and then my benchmark. And so I'm constantly having to support this machine. So I constantly have to oil the machine, gas the machine, and do that. So in order for me to be able to do 225.
Can you oil the machine again?
Oh, yeah. Oil it.
Ooh, and then you're going to do what with the gas?
And then I'm gonna turn the gas down.
You're stupid.
So for me, in order for me to keep this machine going, that's why I have to train every day. You know, like when I train every day, it's not just for my body's ability to like sprint, run, jump, whatever, do whatever I want, but it's also every day I know I can go through at least 2 hours of mental toughness. And so now if throughout the day, if there's anything that's 2 hours or less of stress, easy.
You got it.
It's nothing, because it's part of my tree.
Yeah, you've already trained that.
Yeah, versus for a lot of people, all it takes is one thing to ruin their day, because their mind doesn't have the fitness. You know,
Yeah.
their mind fitness is weak when it comes to handling these stresses.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's the part that does take the discipline. If you want to build machines, or if you want to build trees in your life, those things take a lot of nutrients.
Yeah.
But the reward is amazing because it's endless on the other end.
Yeah. And I think that kind of still applies full circle with what we started this podcast talking about, you know, where you're like, fuck, I can't believe we started a gym. We don't know blah, blah, blah. We don't know this. We don't know that. We don't know. Yes, that's right. But I feel like business models are pretty similar. You know, that's why you can have so many CEOs just jump around from company to company. And one company selling, I don't know, is in finance and the other one is in health and fitness or whatever, or wellness. And they still can thrive in either one because I feel like the inner workings of it are very similar, you know? And I think with YouTube and JK and just what, you know, the machine that we had worked on and built, that was what helped us, you know, with this endeavor.
Yeah, like our grind fitness is extremely high. Our prolonging gratification fitness,
it's super high,
extremely high. Like when we first started YouTube, no one was paying us. You know, we're probably self-violating all kinds of labor laws. Like us to put in like 3-5 years of work without seeing a single penny. You know, I don't even know if that's legal to not pay yourself that much, but we did that, and our ability.
I don't think it's illegal. Trust me.
Oh, fine. But like our ability to like prolong gratification to not.
We were edgers. We've been edging.
To not bust like, nuts for 3 or 5 years.
Shit. Oh, I feel no.
Yeah, our ability is crazy. So I think that in that sense, because our fitness of that is so high, now any endeavor, it's like, oh, it's gonna take a year.
That ain't nothing.
Versus other people that don't have that kind of fitness, they're like, oh, fuck, it's going to take a year. Fuck, I'm probably going to give up in 8 months.
Like right now, so we're trying to sell our house, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll hear people complain like, oh, I don't want to deal with the construction. I'm like, bitch, you think they're fucking going to be constructing here for the next fucking 40 years that you're living here? We're talking about maybe a year. Yeah. Maybe 2 years. I'm like, what the fuck kind of pussy shit is that? I don't know. I needed to vent that out real quick.
Some people just have, I'll say it in a nice way, beginner levels of fitness in the mind.
I called it a pussy level, but yeah. That's why now when I love just hanging out with people that are high achievers. Cause like I get to see their mindset and what they did to achieve what they've achieved. And I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking tight. And it's motivating and it's inspiring. And it's like, oh my God, I found my tribe. This is sick as fuck.
Yeah, and that's why, like, you know, when I do hang out with high achievers, a lot of people are still looking at the fruit. You know, like people, like, let's say they hang out with Steph Curry one day and they're like, yo, Steph, shoot that 3 again. And they're like, wow, that's the fruit, you know? But for me, I'm like, Steph, let's
what's your sleep like?
Let's wake up at 4 a.m.
What's your training like?
Yeah, I want to see that. What is producing that endless amount of fruit that he has, right? And so for me, I'm always trying to look at the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even with a conversation, when I meet like highly successful people, I'm always asking and talking about the tree because the tree will always produce the fruit. Yeah.
What are some tree questions that you would ask?
It depends on what the fruit is, but then I try to like see what they're all about and just kind of see how their inner workings are and even present problems. Like if I talk, like, you know, one of our recent friends, like
recent friends, what the fuck does that mean? Like someone we just met?
Yeah, someone we became a little bit closer like recently.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be like, oh man, that's cool that you moved like your whole operation across state, you know, versus most people would be like, oh man, how much money does that company make? Oh, cool, you're able to buy those trucks? That's fucking sick. For me, I'm like,
that sounds so basic.
I don't know, but that's pretty normal. You know, people are inspired by those things. Yeah. I'm sure people, they see Mike Tyson, they want to know about his tiger and shit. So I understand that. But for me, I'm like, like what did it take to move your whole operation across multiple states? You know, like what about your family and how did that work? And then I like to ask questions like that to see how the tree lives and breathes.
Yeah.
So that I can understand the other parts of it, you know?
That's tight. I love that. Remember when we were going to get tree tattoos?
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
cuny.
We're big fans of trees.
Yeah, we were going to get trees for, instead of rings, we're going to have like a little tree.
We still can do it.
Let's do it.
We're just having a time. No, I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm trying to think, do I operate at that capacity? I think I do. I don't really care about, I mean, you call it fruits. So for the sake of that, I'll call it that. I think I might talk about the fruits just to connect, because I think that's the most apparent thing, you know, and I feel like that's like a conversation starter. But you can only talk about that so deeply, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I love the way you presented that. That's really, really tight.
Yeah. And I do wish more people focused more on the tree. And I think that's what I feel like, at least attributed to my ability to where you feel like in times of scarcity, I'm still able to make moves because I understand what kind of tree I have, you know, and I understand the productivity level. So I'm not really too worried because I'm like, if it comes down to it, then we just gotta, right now we're only watering it 5 times a week, you know, like maybe we need, if we want more fruit, maybe we gotta water it twice or twice a day or whatever. And so even like this year, like this tree is getting worked almost at least 5 times a week. I'm waking up at like 4 a.m. this whole year so far, you know, and it's cool. But I also really wanted to see like what this tree is made out of and see what would happen out of this tree. So that's why I've been doing it. It's been pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I think for me, it changed a little bit. Like I'm always down to grind it out. But once Taika came into my life, I don't want to grind it out the way I used to. Like I know I can. I have it in me. Like I'm not scared of hard work at all. You know, like I'll do whatever it takes to get what I want. But now that I have Taika in my life, I'm like, I have to weigh the opportunity cost, you know, because I'm like, fuck, like, I know he's only going to be a baby for so many years. Like, yeah, like me enriching his life right now is so important. And then that's going to be gone. Like in 5 years, he's going to just be a totally different, not even 5, like 2 more years. As soon as he turns 5, it's just a different kid going to school. And then once he's going to school, like he's gone for like most of the day. And I'm like, fuck, where did my baby go? So I think if he wasn't this little, I would be completely joining you and going just as hard. But I think because he's such a baby, I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. Like the opportunity cost for me right now, I'm like, I want to be there with him because I just know what it did for me and my upbringing. Like I wish my mom was there more.
Yeah.
I have no hard feelings that she wasn't at all.
Yeah.
But I think I'm in a place where I am fortunate enough to be like, oh, I can be here a little bit more. So I'm going to do it. And I think that's more important to me than, because that's my tree, you know? Like my tree is establishing a really dope foundation of trust and, you know, having a really nice relationship with him and having like him count on me and learn from me. Because I feel like, you know, we both have a lot to offer. So that for me is like, that's what I want to focus on. So that when he does start getting older and those fruits start coming in, you know, and we might have a turbulent relationship. I don't know. Like he can at least look back and know like, fuck, I was absolutely adored and loved. Yeah.
That's skinny.
Yeah. So that's the only difference for me where I'm like, I'm down to grind, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'll grind till 5, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, the only time is now because I really want to grind really hard for a year or two and really set the future up. And then...
Because when you think about it, a year or two, when we're talking about 40, 50 years left that we have of life, that's nothing.
Yeah. So that's why I think for me, I'm like, let's push it really hard this year to see what this tree is made out of. And then see if this tree is able to produce enough fruit to set up a couple more trees. And then now we have 3 trees harvesting and then see what happens, you know? And like, that's kind of where my brain is at right now. And also I think I hear this saying that like really resonated with me, which is a kid is the closest to their mom, or the mom is the closest to the kid before the kid is born. And as the kid gets older, he or she becomes closer and closer to the dad, and the mom loses them.
Say that again. So
the closest a mom will ever be to their child is before they're born.
When the child, in the womb?
It's literally they're inside of each other. Yeah. When the child is born, the mom feels like they lose the child more and more, but the child becomes closer and closer to their dad.
Why would they become closer and closer to the dad?
So I think moms are a lot about feeling. And you have a strong bond and connection because you're literally the baby was inside of you, and the baby will never be inside of a mom ever again. And so that feeling, like the more logic and more knowledge and the more intellect that the kid has, it becomes more and more of its own person. For dad, when the baby is born, it's literally like a pile of flesh, no connection. But as the kid becomes a person and knows more and more and becomes itself, the dad actually knows how to interact with the kid and knows the kid. So when I heard that, that was like actually like super deep, where I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. Because it's almost every age he gets older, the happier I become, the more I'm in love with him and I know who he is. And it's almost rare to hear a dad go, I'm losing my baby, because the relationship between the kid and the dad is only getting closer.
Gotcha.
Versus the mom is always, I'm losing my baby. I wish they were 4. And then I wish they were 6. And then I wish they were 8. Well, when they were 8, they were so good. I wish when they're 13, you know? And now it's like off to college. You know, when they're like off to college and then I was like, oh my God, that guy's 18. But then cut to the dad and the kid at 18 freaking racing like trucks together, you know, because they're like this now.
But what if it was a girl? It'd be different.
No, it's the same.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me as hard as it resonates with you, but I'm glad it did something for you.
I think it resonates with me because I'm the dad, you know? So I'm like, oh yeah, the 5 years don't really matter. Once he actually starts having a conversation with me, that's when it's really, really going to start paying off.
Well, for me, it's not that it doesn't matter, because I feel like this is...
And not that in that way either.
Oh, because I feel like this is when... like we're setting up the foundation for him to build his house, you know?
Yes.
So I think for me, the first 5 are so important. And anything at that point, I'm like, fuck, I can't be the only one influencing him anymore.
Yeah.
Like now there's outside influences in different households and different parenting styles that are now influencing my kid in like different schools of thought.
Yeah.
You know? So right now it's like, for me, I'm like, he's the purest. He's mine, you know?
Yeah. I know. And then as he gets older, you lose him and he's not yours anymore.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm not an absent dad.
Seems like you are.
No, I'm not. But that's why every time I have an extra hour in the day or extra time, I immediately want to full immersion interact with him. You know, like yesterday I got home early and I immediately took him to the park because the sun was out and I just want to be full immersion. My phone's not even there. I just have it on in case you need to call me because of emergency. Phone's nowhere to be found. Full immersion, you know. Or the day before that, when we both went into the hot tub, put the phone to the side, not doing any business, just full immersion. What the hell does he want to do? He wants to ride on my back and collect the cars from the bottom of the pool. So that's what we're doing the whole time.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to introduce our final sponsor.
This podcast is also brought to you by Barbell Brigade. Barbell Brigade is your full service resource to get strong, because strength in the gym is strength in life. And we have everything from supplements to apparel to lifting equipment to an actual physical location, a gym in downtown LA, as well as coming out with training programs this year. So whether you're looking to build muscle, you want to build strength and get into powerlifting, or if you want to burn fat, we're going to have a full spectrum of programs coming out. Make sure you go to barbellbrigade.com, sign up for our newsletter for the latest updates. And this podcast is also sponsored by Jumbi Matcha. What do you guys drink every morning to wake up? Some people drink coffee, some people drink matcha. Some people are freaking crazy and they might do some silly drugs. Don't do any silly drugs.
Don't do that, you guys.
Don't do silly drugs because you could get addicted. But one of my favorite ways to wake up is by drinking matcha, because the caffeine hit that you get, and I'm talking about like it's drugs, but it's not. The caffeine hit that you get, it's very subtle, but it wakes you up and it has L-theanine to keep the caffeine jitters down and to keep your mind very focused and sharp. So if you don't like the jitters of all the other caffeine sources, give matcha a try, especially Jumbi matcha, because we sell ceremonial grade matcha at an affordable price. Go to jumbishop.com and you can get little tins. Go to jumbishop.com and you can get little tins and you can make it at home. Have ceremonial grade matcha in your house at home.
Bomb. And we're back.
But even in that, I still think in terms of fitness. You know, like I think of my tree and the fruits being a fun father-son time. So I'm like, those father-son times of fruits are only going to come out if I have a strong foundation with them. So there are times where like I purposely delay work or I email someone, I'm sorry, I can't get to you, because I always have personal goals. And I'm like, wait, I didn't kick it with my son at least 3 times last week.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck what happens
That's
this
good.
week. You know, like I have to also maintain the father-son tree.
Yeah.
So the reason why me and Taika could look at each other and start laughing because we have that inside connection is because we built that tree.
Yeah.
If we don't, we'll end up being strangers and we won't have that inside connection.
Yeah, he wouldn't give a fuck if you left home or not.
Yeah. So because of that, I also still have, like, that's a tree I want to nurture. I know it's more of like a small tree now because I am gone a lot, but I know that if it starts to feel
right now
like,
he's so into grandma, he doesn't even care.
yeah, but if like week to week, if I don't feel like I gave that tree enough, I'll immediately put work aside.
That's so cutie.
Yeah. Because like, I think once I lose, because like right now we're very in tune and we still have lots of inside jokes. The minute we start losing that, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fucking up real bad. You know, I have to start quitting some things.
Yeah, don't trip. I'll keep you in line. You know I will.
Fine.
So yeah, it looks like we've reached the end of our podcast. Is there anything you want to add?
Never.
Please?
No.
Please? Something? What did you have for lunch today?
Korean food. I love Korean food.
There it is. What'd you have?
Some kalbitang and then some kalbi from Parks Barbecue. They're freaking good. And not a brand deal, but if you're in K-Town, you're looking for some good Korean barbecue to go, of course. They have it.
Yeah, they were super bomb. Haha, I got you to say something at the end of the podcast. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. And I want to say thank you to our sponsor. Thank you to Skillshare. Remember to explore your creativity at Skillshare.com/Beal, BEAW, and get a free trial of premium membership. That's Skillshare.com/Beal.
And shout out to Barbell Brigade. We are a company, full service company, to do everything we can to help you get strong, whether it's through the feeling through apparel, through supplements, through our gym, and now coming soon is even training programs. So go to barbellbrigade.com and check everything out there and be the strongest version of yourself. And also shout outs to Junbi Matcha. We are looking for partners to bring high quality, delicious matcha at an affordable price to cities all across the world. So make sure you go to junbishop.com and let them know that Bart and Gio sent you guys. See you guys next time.
Bye.